Welcome to P.N.C Sports. I'm your host, Carnation. And guys. Before I start even talking about anything, I want to tell you guys the story, right? There's this man, great man, in my personal opinion, a great man, phenomenal man. For kids like me who are my age demographic and my background, this great man was an inspiration to us all. Like, he was like a founding father when it comes to media, when it comes to sports media. This man was funny. He was witty. He was in the rap videos that we used to watch. He had his own catchphrases. He, to me, was the Ken Griffey Jr. of sports media. Just outstanding, gifted person. That man name is Stuart Scott. We lost him in the 2000s. I don't wanna say the wrong year, so I'm gonna put it down a ticket below what we lost him by and what year we lost him at. But the reason why I bring him up, because that man Stuart Scott was one of the many reasons why I love ESPN. As a kid, we used to watch ESPN for hours, just hours. I'm talking about just hours, and not just with Stuart Scott. You had the great Chris Berman, Keith Jackson. You had just the great Linda Cohen, Kenny Mayne, Keith Olbermann got to start there too as well. Rich Eisen, just legendary. I'm talking about who could forget the ESPN commercials? I'm talking about well thought out commercials that was perfect. They had this one for Jorge Posada that was so amazing. Cause the whole hip hip hooray. They used to be every time he passed by, hip hip hooray. It was so funny. But I bring them up because, for those y'all don't know, ESPN laid off a lot of great people. A lot of talented people have got laid off, and that's just going on in the economy right now. Even I, in my field of work, Semi got laid off but got rehired 2 weeks later for a different company, for a different position in the same company. So it's been going on since last year. Tech has been laying off people left and right everywhere. So to see ESPN get it was kind of whoa, it's real. I'm just going to read down some of the names of the people that we lost. that lost their job. It's not to be funny. We lost the great Jeff Van Gundy, the great Nick. I'm a Knicks fan. The great Jeff Van Gundy, the great Jalen Rose, Keyshawn Johnson, Max Kellerman. Say what you want about Max. Max is a great analysis, especially when it comes to boxing. Max knows his shit when it comes to boxing. It's the great and legendary Susie Cobra. I grew up in oh God, it hurts to hear her. She's not there anymore. Chris Chelios, Matt Hasselbeck, legendary Steve Young, Rob Ninkovich, Neil Ever, another one from the old days with Stuart Scott and them. Come on. Ashley Brewer, June Loon, LaFonta Ellis, Todd McShy's nowhere. How you got rid of Todd McShy? Whoa. Todd McShay, I'm saying McShy. Excuse me if I pronounce the name wrong. Jordan Cornette, Jason Fitz, David Pollack. Jesus. These are legendary names, and probably countless more that's been laid off. And according to Stephen A. Smith, more layoff is planning to happen. It hurts to see that, especially it hurts because at the end of the day, forget readers love sports media. They people at the end of the day, so it hurts to see anybody lose their job. I said it all the time. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemies for them losing their job. I don't wish that on no human being, none. So to see that, it just makes you realize, damn, ESPN for a while, it's not, it's. We have to be honest. We have to be very honest and start sugarcoating anything. ESPN is not the ESPN that brought us first, that brought us Cold Pizza, that brought us PTI, you know what I mean? That brought us all these classic shows like Beyond the Lines, 30 for 30, Sports Century. This ain't the same ESPN anymore. We got to be very blunt and be very honest. ESPN has been losing viewers because ESPN decided to not focus on sports and focus on, we gotta be blunt, politics. ESPN has they missed the whole purpose of why we love ESPN with sports. They forgot that. Somewhere down the line, they forgot that. And they decided to push politics in it. It's okay to educate us like an outside the lines. But to have it in your everyday sports center like on show, come on. Let's talk what we gotta talk about. We came at ESPN. Remember, you understand, we used to use ESPN as a getaway from our problems. For you to bring the problems on our getaway, you're gonna lose viewers. That's just common sense. Whether it's like social issues, whether it's like men and women issues, it's too much things getting pushed on ESPN, getting pushed in the ESPN network that a lot of us didn't want to watch. I don't want to watch this. Think about it. Majority of the time, I'm gonna tell y'all something for those that don't know. A lot of us, we didn't just used to watch the games on ESPN. We used to watch SportsCenter. I used to watch SportsCenter, I want to say 6 hours straight, just cause. You ever heard of like Netflix and chill? Back in our day, it was ESPN and Thrill. You know what I mean? We used to watch ESPN. Yo, I remember I had a girlfriend. I was like 18. I was like 18. She was like my girlfriend, but we didn't officially meet her girlfriend. So I remember like I used to go to her house and like she would be like, okay, stay right here, I'll be right back. I'm gonna put on ESPN for you. She knew already. I'm gonna put him on ESPN, he gonna be good. If she wanted me to be on her good side, we used to watch ESPN all the time instead of watch some love stuff. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Everybody knew all this. ESPN was a big thing. And we somehow, ESPN somehow lost their way. They lost what they was all about, which is sports. For anybody, male or female, that loves sports, that was our getaway, was ESPN. And they decided to put politics in it. I'm not even going to talk about a certain analyst that just won't stop, doing what she's doing. But it is what it is with her. But like, it's just sad to see ESPN go down the hill. And also too, what I don't like is people trying to blame Pat McAfee, talking about, oh, they got rid of all these great people and they hired Pat McAfee, and paying him all this money that they're paying all these great people. You understand? Pat McAfee, it's no fault of his own. It's not his fault they decided to give him 25 or 30 million a year. It's not his fault. You gotta understand this. Pat McAfee came with his own audience. He probably has a bigger audience right now than any of the people that's on ESPN right now. Maybe Stephen A. Smith. But Pat McAfee, think about it. I love the Pat McAfee show on YouTube. I love it. He has a big audience. People want to watch Pat McAfee show. You know why? We're talking about sports. We're chilling. We're relaxing. Listen to Pat McAfee talk about sports. Listen to Pat McAfee talk about other nonsense things. But it's not filled with just politics, man and woman issues. We don't want to hear this. We don't want to hear about this 24/7. It's already on every news outlet. For our sports, we don't want that. And that's just a fact. That's one of the main reasons why ESPN has been losing viewers. And also, let me shout out to another great too. Even Rachel Nichols, she's legend. So what you want about her? Rachel's a legend. She's a complete legend. So think about all the great people that, even Colin Cowherd, he had to go through like ESPN too. So what you want about Colin? He made a way for himself. Who else? Like almost everybody you see at Fox came through ESPN one way or another. That's how much ESPN was big. But with the landscape changing, especially with social media, with Patreon, with YouTube, with all these other different avenues that people can go to like get their sports news, ESPN, especially with what they're promoting, it's not needed anymore. So I don't blame them for pivoting it to go to Pat McAfee. It sucks to see the great Jalen Rose not there. It really sucks to see Jeff Van Gundy not there anymore. But I feel they'll bounce back. They're definitely gonna bounce back. And it was just like it was watching that was just like, wow, we're really losing all these great talents. But I'm like I said, I'm pulling for them to bounce back. I'm pulling for them to have this a successful career and like whatever they do. And like truthfully, ESPN, get back to how it was. Get back to talking about sports, because I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10 now, majority of people that watch ESPN, they're only watching the network now, and just for any time a game comes on now. Nobody's not watching anymore for the Sports Center, for the shows, for the Outside the Lines. They probably don't got Outside the Lines anymore. That's how much I'm showing my age. You know what I mean? Like, but it's a sad thing. This, you know, it's just how the economy is going right now, that they can't afford a lot of these great minds, and most of the talent right now is building their own audience, and that's just a fact. So, you know, I'm Carnation. It's P.N.C Sports, man. Listen, man, don't forget your roots, man. Subscribe to the channel, man. We're almost at 1,500, guys. Please subscribe to get to 1,500 by the end of this month. You know, thank you guys once again for watching P.N.C Sports. I'm your host, Carnation.